But that being said, ladies and gentlemen, next map is going to be Echo. So let's jump right into it.
Yes, sir. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Here in the top left in the red. He is up one game with a very solid build. Getting a little lucky, I dare say. Nonetheless, it is going to be JimRising. And his opponent in the blue, spawning here in the bottom right on Echo. He's going to have to take 2 games cleanly in a row to make it into the winners round. We'll have to see, Alex. Does he have what it takes? It's going to be Odin is back, and he's going to have to ready his hammer, if anything.
He really is going to have to. Actually, wait a minute. You know how I told you I like mythology? Did you just say Odin's hammer?
Yeah, man.
That's Thor. Odin has a spear.
Odin has, yes.
He has one less eye than most other people.
Yeah, and he has the
two
ravens. The two
yes.
ravens.
And
I got like flashbacks to middle school.
He lost his eye for wisdom. Because
Didn't he like throw it down the well?
Yes.
Like, who belonged to the... I don't even know the English name.
I think it was like a form of giant almost. That's
like in Swedish his name is Mimer, but that's what I know.
Yeah, exactly. You probably know that because there's actually this webpage where you can kind of cheat on tests called like Meme as well.
Oh yeah, I know about that.
That's why you know it.
Yeah,
I knew it.
That doesn't sound too good.
Well, about that.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna like head off here, guys.
Yeah, no, I think it's better for you and your future grades to kind of just leave that one alone, probably. But okay, so cheating aside, we do see Odin trying to cheat a bit, but in this case, he's actually just going to use his infinite wisdom to go for the hatch first, as he is not going to take any early pulls.
JimRising, he actually went for a 14 pull.
Did he?
Yeah, and then into hatchery, and then goes into a gas.
Huh, that's pretty safe.
So a slightly earlier pull timing from what you'd usually see.
That's interesting. Well, like we saw Cats do it as well, going for that 14 pull, and it's something that's not as common as you'd think, because it does really give you that safety. You can also, of course, do it. Actually, no, I think Cats did it right off the hatchery, so they went like hatch first into 14 pull. But going for the 14 pull first, like you don't like really all in from it. You just get those really early circlings, so you're going to get the scout off. But also, of course, you're really safe against any early pulls. Like 15 pull can still lose to early pulls if you miss micro or misread the situation.
Yeah, but we're not going to see the scenario where we see the Zerg going for the hatchery just dying outright, kind of thing. Which is the case sometimes when we see hatch first versus, for instance, like a 7 pull with drone pull. But that's also a kind of it forces them the actual battle to be one of micro. So I mean, you can still hold that off. But JimRising gets deflected here, loses his Zerglings, sees the gas though. No speed started here for Odin, who goes right into a Baneling Nest.
Whoa, that's interesting. You don't really go into Bane Nest first unless you're really afraid of your opponent Ling all-inning you. And still you usually just get the speed first, then the Bane Nest. So that's probably if you're really afraid of an early Ling all-in. And he's still not getting speed. This is some heavy delay for that speed research. Is he just going to skip it altogether? I mean, he started with that Infestation Pit or rather kind of tech play that we saw in the previous game, so we could probably see something weird again here.
Oh, maybe he's going to use that gas that he's not dropping into speed, for instance, to cook a lair. I mean, we see now, look at this, he's going up to 3 gas again. Like we saw map number 1, where he also... but on map number 1 he actually did have that speed. So changing things up a little. JimRising though, he's got 10 Zerglings in production, Baneling Nest done.
Yeah, I think
he's actually just going to go for it here.
Yeah, he's just going to go for that Ling Bane semi all-in. Let's see if he stops making Lings or not. And we see Bane's being more fit for Odin. Technically, Banes are enough, but if Jim can micro well against Odin's Banes by just splitting up his Lings without having speed, Odin can't really chase them, and that's going to be really difficult.
These queens need to be in great position. There was actually a small hole there by the spine. Third base is going to have to be cancelled. Odin playing it very greedily here, cutting a lot of corners. His only safety being in those banelings, but if, like you said, he can avoid these connections, then he's going to be in great shape, and he just gets right on top of things.
No.
The banelings break down the spine crawler, but not really getting any good connections, and right now, JimRising is just going to shred this drone line in the main. And if this gets cleaned up, he has full tabs on exactly everything his opponent is doing.
Yeah, and this is really horrible for Odin, as you might be able to tell. He managed to take all those banelings, though his only defense railing, and walk straight into 2 banes of Jim. And you need 2 banes to kill baneling, so that AoE was just absolutely enough to take out the entire defense of Odin, who right now is trying to make 16 slowlings. And Jim now sees, okay, this is slowlings. I can easily micro against this. He can even just kite them around the lair if he wants to.
Yeah, he's gonna go right for it, break this down. Kills a couple of these Zerglings with that 1 bane, and that's it. This lair's getting lower and lower.
There we go.
It's still up.
Starts.
Yeah, let's see. Will he be able to bring this down with only 4 Zerglings? I mean, still though, JimRising up by 14 drones at this point, and that's like pretty insane economical lead here for Red Zerg. Because, you know, behind this he started droning, he dropped down that Roach Warren, started +1, so the follow-up attack is just going to be as brutal as this first initial wave of units.
Yeah, I think so as well, and right now, he can go into kind of whatever he wants to. With this kind of Roach +1, he's really not looking for the macro game. He could see a double Evo chamber otherwise. And Odin's going to come in here with the changeling, scout kind of what's going on in the natural, as he comes into the main with an overseer to make sure he sees exactly what he's up against. But he should know by now that he's miles behind his opponents.
He's going to need some sort of miracle to swing things back, because he's going to be down in bases, down in workers, in tech, in every single regard. And look at the supply here, 49 to 77. And this, not only do we have the advantage in terms of workers, but also larger army. And we already see JimRising starting to power up here. Has a good bunch of roaches, and he's just waiting for that +1 in Glider reconstitution before he goes.
Yeah, we'll see a bit more drones coming behind this, but as he went into the +1 only, it doesn't look like he wants to be as greedy, and he is going to go for full-up roach push from this. Anything else would be very, very shocking. And I think, just as you say, he's getting his +2 now. We should probably see an Evo behind it as well to get that +1 in the Carapace. But everything looking just as it's supposed to be. This is... He just got into the perfect kind of, like, textbook style of roach play at this point.
Yeah, and all he needs to do now is kind of fill in the gaps, because he knows he's ahead. And I guess the one thing here that JimRising could make as a mistake would be to maybe drone too heavily and sort of focus on trying to push things into a macro game. But like you've said, I mean, I don't think we're going to be seeing that, because he knows he has the advantage and he should just be utilizing this, press the advantage towards his opponent. He's doubling him in supply now. And, well, I think this game kind of tilted very heavily in JimRising's favor with that first assault, because, I mean, it just did so much damage. Absolutely brutal.
Yeah, and Jim just behind this has been macroing exactly as he's supposed to be. I mean, everything is just in place. Nothing's really awkward here. I think the only thing you could just say negatively about Jim right now would be that he doesn't have a second Evo. But that's also kind of him deciding to just not dump that extra gas and maybe just go for that +2 timing. I think the second thing would also be that him not realizing how far behind his opponent is, that he could have actually just finished this game a long time ago. So he's kind of giving his opponent a chance, but at the same time, he's still going to have a massive lead in the army.
Yeah, and I mean, with this 3-hatch production as well on top of that, not only will he have everything superior, but he's also going to have more production on the line. So we'll see more roaches churned out here from JimRising than Odin can ever hope to have in this second game here on Echo. And well, he's dropping a couple of spines here, but I don't think that is going to be enough. JimRising now with that +2 nearing completion. More roaches on the production line. Oh, he's just going to go for it, hit this front, and I don't think that Odin has enough to make this hold.
No, I completely agree. This is going to be so difficult to defend against. And here comes Jim to just shut this down way too much for him. Almost tripling his opponent in army supply and just pure roach numbers. And well, that is GG. And we see Odin tapping out for the second time in a row, leading Jim to go straight to that winner series. And well, his chance to advance significantly increased here.
So very clean first series here for JimRising.